So Tom, tell me, what does Dynamic Dental Ascension, or DDA as it's known, mean to you?
That's a great question. I think it's been a passion project of mine for quite some time now. And, years ago, I was an active sports coach for kids and got pretty competitive for a while and got kind of busy. But it's a real nice blend of that love along with dentistry, which has been in my, heart for over 30 years now. And it came together as a project that was really built off of an invitation to come up with a third rail in my life. And here we are.
Yeah, when we first met, we hit it off pretty quickly several years ago. I think it was 2020, possibly.
It was. It was during COVID. We met during a sort of the beginnings of a big mastermind group that evolved somewhat out of a variety of different avenues, which I think brought together some pretty incredible people. And that's where we first met. And realized rather quickly, well, shoot, we're neighbors. So, and next thing you know it, we're flying home on a I think a return trip from a big conference. And we came to the realization, like, well, what are we waiting for? Who are we kidding at this point? Let's put this thing into action.
Sure. Well, you mentioned, it's been in your blood to be a mentor, to be a leader for a long time. And I knew that when I first met you, father of three, a great husband, a leader in the community. And so I was like, this is a great dentist nonetheless. It's an afterthought though, but all those things follow you where you go. And I thought we had a cohort of people asking for more, for coaching, for mentorship, for, hey, how did you do what you did in such a short amount of time? And speaking to your experience, I said, well, I don't feel like I'm ready to do this alone. I'm going to join hands with somebody who I think can bring a lot of value to our lives. And we spawned the group, and since then it's been over 2 years now of loyalty with several people, and we've added others along the way, and we're looking to add and help others grow. So
that's right. I think it's a perfect blend. What we maybe didn't realize right out of the gate was I've always kind of been in the mode of acquisitions and sort of bolting on existing patient populations to an entity or acquiring a new entity. And you've always come from the context of startups, which I think combined together has proven to be this wellspring of knowledge and experience and opportunity for our clients in the group. And thankfully, we have the opportunity to share those battle scars, as we like to call them, with these folks and hope to full time for them and get them to a better place quicker than it certainly required for me. You, on the other hand, had a pretty rapid hockey stick-like growth and I think it all came down to an incredibly good demographic analytics process that you went through to find your location here in Pelham, Colorado. And so I was anxious to find out more about that and see how could I incorporate some of those startup principles into my life as an acquisitions person. And lo and behold, there's a lot of overlap and similarities, and that's what's been really cool about providing that gift back to our community.
Sure. I can think of a prime example. I won't use his name, but it was a startup basically that was trending towards an acquisition. It was what we call a jump start. So it was a facility, no patients, and the first 4 or 5 months were a struggle as a startup. And you and I, well, mostly you, were saying, hey, look for a chart sale. Lo and behold, a chart sale comes across, and this person's seeing like 75 new patients a month now, and the cost was very minimal. There's actually no risk, because how he structured it was that I'm only going to pay for the people that come over. Mm-hmm. And that was a perfect example of the blend of the startup and acquisition mindset to supercharge a practice.
Absolutely. I've done several chart acquisitions myself over the last 2.5 decades, and I can't think of one that wasn't wildly successful. You'll always see some attrition. People, consumer behavior is one of those unique nuances that we never quite can put our finger on. Dentistry is no exception. In fact, I think the buying cycle and buying mindset of a dental intender or consumer is really difficult to pin down. And as a result, you have a whole host of ways in which people, like in the marketing world, like to throw their hat in the ring and try to solve it for us. And I think we've come to discover that it really kind of comes down to you, the dentist, the practice owner, the visionary, the leader of that organization, and how you treat your team, your number one client, and then number two, how they turn around and treat the community that you serve. And when you have that running well, your culture's optimized. Next thing you know it, patients start showing up. It's really a pretty cool phenomenon.
Yeah, so let's wrap it up. The question is, what is Dynamic Dental Ascension? It's essentially a mastermind group. I think that word's thrown around a little too much, but it's a cohort, a tribe, whatever, of like-minded dentists that are looking to up their leadership, because as we know, leadership follows us wherever we go, whether it's with our families, with our colleagues, and especially with our teams, and or even in the room for, with our patients looking for case acceptance. So it's leadership. It's that spectrum from going from clinician when we graduate dental school. Now maybe we've taken on practice ownership, so now to entrepreneurship. And the ultimate goal for many of us is then that aspirational. So clinical, entrepreneurial, aspirational, and we're trying to help people get through that hump between entrepreneurial to aspirational, because what we find in the entrepreneurial phase is you're kind of wrapped up in management. You're not quite a CEO. You're still, you can't take a vacation without getting calls, things of that nature. And so through systemization, working on ourselves and looking, knowing the numbers, knowing how to market, all these things, we're putting it together. It's basically practice management, but a lifestyle practice that serves us and our families rather than a business that owns us.
Absolutely correct. I couldn't have said it better myself. I would just only reiterate that, leadership is a muscle, just like the muscles in your body that you love going to the gym and taking care of. And if you don't take care of you in so many aspects of how you, run your daily operation, how you take care of yourself, and how you turn around and take care of others that have signed up to be taken care of by you, we're going to fall short. And I think you're right. If that business isn't well-oiled and systemized properly, it's going to own you in some capacity. And, who wants to have that? It's just not, I don't think, what too many people set out to do and accomplish when they decided, hey, I think I'm going to be a dentist. I think that's one of the coolest questions to ask some of our clients is like, why did you get into dentistry in the first place? And what's really neat about dentistry is the entrepreneurial nature, like you said. It's still, I think, the most entrepreneurial aspect of healthcare in our economy, and I think it needs to maintain itself in that fashion. And I think that's one of the core principles of what we seek to accomplish with our clients.
We're focused on results we hold ourselves accountable when we're focused on results for our clients, and we've seen massive shifts from going from single doc to 3 docs, from 65% overhead to 45% overhead, from $1 million in collections to $3.6 million in collections. So it's not a question of does this stuff work? Do the things that we're teaching work? It works, but in the right hands. So for anybody who's qualified or interested, please reach out to us at dynamicdentalascension.com. Fill out the discovery form there, and we'll send you a copy of our book, Eminently Qualified Dentist. Stay tuned for some more material that we'll release to dive into what is this book and what is that about. So thanks.